I get asked how I do my makeup literally all the time, and I finally have time to film an in-depth makeup tutorial. I always start with the e.l.f. Power Grip. I'm running out of this. For foundation, I've been using Estee Lauder Double Wear. I really like it so far, but I don't think I've used it enough to really know if I would buy it again, but this is in the shade Cashew. The reason I think my makeup always comes out so good, honestly, is because I use a lot of foundation, and I think that people that go light with foundation don't get the same look. I like to go for more of a full coverage look because I just think that I want to look like a filter in real life. So the best way to do that is really to use a lot of foundation. The shade match for this is a little yellow, but you just have to trust the process. And don't forget to bring your foundation down your neck and your chest because you want everything to be cohesive. For concealer, I use the Hourglass concealer in the shade Sand. I think this is like literally their lightest color, but I like to use it for highlighting my under eyes. So I like to drag it out and upward, so it's going to lift your eye. And then I also like to highlight my chin and my forehead just a little bit. And I blend everything out with a beauty blender. I've tried blending with brushes before, and it is more full coverage that way, but I feel like you can see a lot of streaks even if you do pat it in. And so I just always go back to the beauty blender. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to carve out my eyebrows too. I don't do this every time, but if I want to be extra, I'll do it. Next, I'm going to use Makeup by Mario. This is in the shade Light Medium. This is the shaping stick. And put it in a lot of different places, honestly. I love contour. I feel like for makeup, you really just have to know your own features and know what's going to complement your face shape. So for me, I like to really bring out my cheekbones because I don't have that structured cheekbones. And then I like to make my forehead a little bit narrower and then make my chin a little bit pointier. And then I like to also bring this down and like emphasize my collarbones a little bit just because, again, the thing with makeup is everything needs to be cohesive. So if your face is snatched and then your neck and chest isn't really matching, it's going to look a little bit odd. I blend all that out with an angled contour brush, and then I'm going to use the Patrick Ta contour in the shade She's Bronzed, and I'm going to use the liquid first, and then I'm going to go over it with the powder. So now that I'm done with all the liquid products, I'm going to set my face with Laura Mercier translucent powder. This is like really important. So I'm like very particular about this. So I have to blend the creases first, and then right when I blend it, I need to set it. So I'm going to show you. So I already have my powder ready, powder puff in the powder, and then I'm going to blend out the creases of my eye on top and bottom, and then literally hold my eye still and set it. Then I'm going to take the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom powder. I really hate this packaging because no powder comes out. Like, I get like nothing. This is like full. But I like to use this for baking under my eyes. I know I look crazy, but I'm going to leave this here while I do the rest of my makeup. And I'm going to go over the cream bronzer that I just put on with the powder bronzer. And we're going to start just doing all the powder products. I know everyone loves glowy makeup, but if you want your makeup to really stay on, you have to use powder products, in my opinion. For blush, I have two blushes that I love. They're both the Fenty blushes. One is in Riri and one is in What a Brat. This is usually my day blush because it's a little bit lighter, but I kind of want to use the pinkier one today. I might mix them. They're so pretty. They have like a little bit of a shimmer. I was saying, I think the most important thing about makeup is you need to really know your own face. So for my blush placement, I like to put it right here to sort of lift my face up. I'm going to go over it a little bit with the darker one because it's a little too pinky for a night out. For highlight, I always use the Benefit Cookie Highlighter. I just think that it's so universal. It doesn't matter what your skin tone is. This will always look good on everybody. At this point, I wipe away the powder and move on to my eye makeup. And my eye makeup, I think, is what really makes the biggest difference with my face. I use the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 3 palette. It's really messy and old, and it's been on so many trips. This palette has seen me at my absolute best and absolute worst, but I used the first shade on the top, and I use that as my base color, and I just put that all over my eyelids. And then I like cool tone colors because I think that they bring out my eyes more, so I'm going to go in with this color right here. And the technique for this is really just like going back and forth in my crease a bunch of times with a fluffy brush, and this palette just blends so smoothly that you really don't even have to try. And then I'm going to deepen it just a little bit more with the shade right next to it. I get scared to go too dark with eyeshadow because I already do a pretty dramatic eyeliner, so usually I just keep the eyeshadow pretty basic. And then I'm going to brighten up the lids again with the white color. I just take it on my finger and just put that on my actual eyelid, and it just creates contrast between the darkness of the crease and your actual eyelid. Eyeliner is the fun part. I've tried so many other eyeliners, but I really like this like weird pen. I know people use like the ones that are like actual pens, but I just can't, so I'm sticking to this. But I just draw a line straight out and upwards, and then I'll connect it just like that. And then I line my actual eye, I had to do it off camera because I was so focused, but I just basically just connected the lines, and they're usually not even, but that's okay. And I do a little line in the middle. And then I take an eyeliner pencil. This one's just a random one from Wet n Wild, and I tightline my eyes. During the day, I'll just do the top, but if I know I'm going out, I will also do the bottom because I just like to do darker eye makeup when I'm going out. Whoever said to buy the Dior mascara literally lied. This does nothing for my eyelashes, so I just use Telescopic by L'Oreal. I'll make a more detailed video on how I actually do my lips because I used to have literally no lips, and now I really like my lips, and I'm able to shape them how I like them to look, so I'm going to do a more in-depth video on that. I got sent these Estee Lauder lipsticks, so I think I'm going to use these today. I think this color is really pretty. This one might be a little... Oh, actually I don't know. I chose the lightest color. This is Rosy Ribbon, and I'm going to wipe off this mascara. I just use a spoolie, and it just like gets it right off. And over top of my lips, I'm going to use this Laneige Strawberry Sprinkles Glaze Craze. This makes my lips look so good. I use it every time I go out now. And it's just so shiny. And lastly, I use the One Size setting spray. I lied. I don't know how I forgot, but I always put Fenty Diamond Balm on my eyes. And I know it's so broken, but that's how you know I love it. And this is it. It's so pretty. Just in my hair. And my makeup just looks so beautiful. This is with no filter.